Thank you. That concludes our testimony part. Let me double check with Kona. I don't see any more. So that will take us forward into our referrals. There is. Is there anybody in Kona?
No more testifiers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so our first item on the agenda is communication 653, Bill 185, an ordinance amending Chapter 24 of the Hawaii County Code 1983, 2005 edition, as amended, relating to the vehicles and traffic inserts Ali'i Drive in Kailua Kona, 100 feet north of Sarona Road, fronting Makuakai Kawana Church, to Article 10, Division 4, Pedestrians, Section 24-276, Schedule 24, Crosswalks, Paragraph F, Kona. From Public Works Director Warren H. Lee, dated December 7, 2009, transmitting the above bill. May I have a motion to close file in Communication 653 and recommend the approval of Bill 185?
So move.
Discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor of closing file and communication 653 and approving the Bill 185, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Bill 185 moves forward with a positive recommendation. Moving on to unfinished business, Communication 639, Resolution 281-09, a resolution to encourage the decriminalization of the use of marijuana, urges the state legislature to initiate legislation that will determine or decriminalize the cultivation, possession, and use of marijuana. From Council Member Kelly Greenwell, dated December 1st, 2009, transmitting the above resolution. There is a pending motion made by Mr. Greenwell and duly seconded by Mr. Yoshimoto to close file in Communication 639 and recommend adoption of Resolution 281-09. Discussions on the floor? Mr. Greenwell.
As the proud author of this bill, I would like to make a few comments. I really don't know that I need to. I hope that this body has heard the testimony both for and against. And I would note that those who were for did not want to be confused with facts. So all but 2 or 3 of them have left. Don't confuse me with the issues. I don't want to hear it. I've already made up my mind, is the message that comes from them. Illiterate, they are the illiterate ones. And I don't want them voting on this issue because they're not smart enough to keep their butts in chair here to listen to what was said tonight. Now I'm going to say to the rest of you, I have threatened to leave this council in the past. But if you vote any other way tonight than to take this through for further discussion in the council meeting, I am resigning from this body. I want you all to understand this. This is the biggest issue. And what it is, it's an issue about whether we're smart enough, mature enough to take the responsibility to look at what is going on here. The police have become bears, maybe not just in this county, all over the country. Okay? And they are eating, chewing on the people who they're supposed to be watching over. And it's happening all over the place. And that has to be stopped, and this is how you stop it. It's not fair to the police to put them in the kinds of position that we as a body of law have put them in. Understand that. It's not fair to the police to put them in that kind of position. What else do you expect them to do? If they're going to be good at their jobs, they're going to learn to be bears. Because that's what they're rewarded for. No one here sitting here tonight is being rewarded for being here. All they're asking for is a little bit of intellectual competence. I've heard non sequiturs. I've heard some of the most ridiculous logic. And you, sir, presenting the idea that because tobacco was bad in the 1600s, therefore it relates to the quality and consequences of using marijuana today.
Excuse me, Mr. Greenwell, I would appreciate it. No, thank you. Thank you.
I'm expecting that everybody here is an adult.
Mr. Greenwell, you need to address your comments to me, not to anybody out there. Okay?
I need to get justice into our society.
Mr. Greenwell, we need to follow procedures. You are not to address the people out there. You are to address me as the chair. Please follow the procedures. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm going to try and calm down here, but I've heard some terrible stuff, and I've heard it before, and it's one of the reasons why I brought this forward. This is the land of the free. I would remind you, sir, this is the land of the free. We are Americans. There are people off in foreign countries killing and giving their lives for this thing we call freedom. And instead, we're putting people in jail. Not for having done anything. It's okay if they're drunk, because that's legal. It's okay. It seems to me that it's okay to be on the highways. It's acceptable after having been drinking. It may be illegal, but it's acceptable by our society, our community. Hey, bro, I'm going to get really drunk when you drive home last night, yeah? Okay? That seems to be an acceptable thing. But I would maintain to you people here, my brethren here on this council, that at 1 o'clock in the morning when you're running into somebody who is inebriated, would you rather they were inebriated on marijuana or alcohol? And I can tell you that the guy that's been drinking alcohol is doing 95 and the guy that's been on pot's doing 9. We sat here 2.5 weeks ago and listened to a tale of a hideous accident from a person who'd been drinking alcohol. And I'm not saying that that same person might have been smoking pot. But the odds are that some of those people that have been killed or have been killing would have chosen marijuana over alcohol, and they may be alive today, or their victims may be alive today. You guys got to grow up, and you've got to understand what this issue is about. Look at Mexico. Just wait until that group gets here and runs the show. When you've got police that are manhandling a child, virtually, I've heard worse stories than I heard here, and I'm not going to bring up anecdote at this point, but the point is, when the criminals begin to run the show, and we're getting really close to that, then I'm lucky if I make it home tonight, because I'm going to tell you there's going to be a whole group of people gunning for Kelly Greenwell because he's liable to take their livelihood away from them. That's what this is all about. Fortunately, I'm an old man. I'm 69 years old today, or yesterday, or something like that. Okay? I'm not looking forward to a whole lot of life expectancy. So I'm not maybe as afraid as some of the other people who refuse to vote in my direction. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not just threatening you. If you can't see the wisdom of exploring this issue so that we can take away some of the horror that's been involved over the last millennium, then there's no point in me wasting my time. I have many other venues that I can spend my time in. And I will add, as a little point of interest, the 7 kids in the red shirts today from the Kelikay Community Association. I have funded that association. They're not here because of the legality of taking pot. They're here because they want to obey the law. And when we make stupid law, that's not going to last much more than 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So let's, for this once, Let's make some smart law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greenwell. I want to